As we discussed, we are really just at the beginning of what will likely be several months of budget wrangling. This process will no doubt include negotiations back and forth, some fierce fights, and even the occasional name-calling. And that's just between the House and the Senate. I am quite sure the State Budget Director, Charlie Peruse, who joined us today, knows there are many tough battles to be fought over the governor's proposed budget. With Republicans enjoying veto-proof majorities in the General Assembly, they really don't have to compromise at all with Democratic Governor Roy Cooper. Here's what I encourage our viewers to do. Take a look at the governor's proposed budget information. We'll have links on our website to the basic materials. The address is ncforum.org, and look for the resources section for today's show. But after that, I want you to take a look at what will be introduced soon by the North Carolina Senate. We'll share all those links and information too. You really won't have to look terribly hard to find areas, on paper anyway, where it looks like the governor and the legislature ought to be able to work together. Those areas include continuing to raise teacher pay and to address our incredibly low school principal and assistant principal pay. There's also likely some areas of agreement to invest more in early childhood programs to help get our children ready for school and to focus on third grade reading level when they get there as a critical predictor for future success. There are policy areas that will be vigorously debated, like continuing to expand the private school voucher program and what our school funding system ought to look like going forward. But I encourage not just our viewers, but our state's leaders to keep the focus on the students and what's best for them. Our state constitution guarantees a sound basic education for all our children, and the courts found that the elements needed to deliver a sound basic education are an effective teacher in every classroom, a great principal in every school, and adequate resources for those schools. If you ask me, that seems like a pretty good checklist to have handy when you're assessing whether a budget or a budget line item is taking North Carolina where it must go when it comes to education. That's it for this week's Education Matters. Next week, we're going to focus further on school funding as the General Assembly explores how our schools are funded, and we're going to take another look at the K-3 class size issue we talked about today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.